Nope, that's John. Oh, okay, live now. Okay, now I see it. All right, so,
Well, there.
well,
And
all right.
everybody can hear you.
Hi, everybody. Okay,
And
so how do okay. Here, I'll turn myself off so you can do your thing.
well, no, you don't have to do anything on your end because I'm doing it through eCam. So right now we're down to 19 seconds. But because we started just a little bit late, about 30 seconds late, I'm going to hit the end of the countdown timer and go into the news. Welcome everybody to the Secrets of Safety Dog. And what do we have this Monday at 1 p.m.? We have Mr. Bruce Outridge of Outridge Enterprises and the Lead Pedal Podcast. He's our guest on the show. We'll get to Bruce in just a minute. What was interesting this week in trucking news? Let me pull up my shared screen here. What did I find interesting? And I'll put all these links in the show notes below as soon as we finish going live. Bruce, by the way, I haven't figured out how to, using the software I am, to go to YouTube and Facebook at the same time, how to put the show notes in beforehand. But anyways, this I think was interesting. There was a car crash video, and is it preventable or not preventable? The tractor trailer is making a left-hand turn, and a sports car decided to go to the right of the tractor trailer and try to beat him around the corner, making a left-hand turn. So both vehicles are making a left-hand turn, and I was surprised at the ruling. So I'll put the link in the show notes below so that you can view the video that they made up. And I would love to know in the show notes, in the comment section, if you agree with the way the ruling was made. And I'm not going to tell you what that was. Just go and watch the video. I'll put it in the show notes. As you may know, down in the States, again, it looks like September the 29th, the hours of service rules are changing. Here's a great article in CCJ about how to best use those rules, the new rules, to your advantage. Closer to home, in Burlington, of course, we had that unfortunate death of a tractor trailer at what do you call it, Bruce, where you drop off stuff to have the pig slaughtered. It's not called
And slaughterhouse.
Is it called a slaughterhouse? Okay, well,
What I call it. I don't know if that's a technical term, but that's what I call it.
The slaughterhouse. Unfortunately, a protester got ran over, as you know, a few weeks ago, and the trucking company, who I happen to know well, they are an Ontario trucking company. They are very concerned for the protesters' continuing safety as the protests carry on. Everyone certainly has a right to protest. However, safety has to be paramount. And I have an opinion, but I'm not going to express it right now. That's for another day. But again, great article here. And this one is on the CBC, the website. And so it tells you who the trucking company and everything was that was involved in that crash. But it's so concerning, the safety of everybody all the time. Virginia Tech recently came out with a study, and go figure, the study says that experience is more important than age when it comes to relating accidents and truck driving. So even though you might be a senior citizen like myself, if you are new to trucking, the stats say that without the experience, you're likely to have more incidents. So again, if you wanted to read a bit about that from a safety professional's point of view, Virginia Tech does a lot of that type of work. So there. And of course, you probably know, if you have been tuning in at all, that I love technology and I'm a big Tesla fan. This isn't Tesla, but this is talking about automation and how it may affect trucking. So basically they're saying we're in for a lot of change, and as they say, a wild ride. And then lastly, one of my, I shouldn't say favorite topics, but on my podcast, we had truckers against trafficking in one of the episodes. And this article here is again talking about truckers against trafficking, what you can do as a truck driver. All right, so great tips in here. And if you do not support Truckers Against Trafficking, I would encourage you to do that. They're also called TAT, and I'll put a link to all these articles in the show notes below. With that, let's bring in our guest, Mr. Bruce Outridge, and that should be the correct screen. There we go. Hey, Bruce, how are you?
How are we doing, Chris?
Good. On one of my screens, you're frozen. Hopefully that's not the case on your end. Can you see everything good?
I can see everything good. Well, on the live, oh, there we go. I had to refresh the live one. We're live, I think. We're live. So I'm on my phone live because I started a watch party for you. So I'm kind of watching two things, and I know it's your show, so I'll ignore that and do what you do. How are you?
Hey,
thanks for having me.
You're my guest. You can do whatever the heck you want.
I was trying to see if it was, when you asked me if it was showing, I went to refresh my phone and it was stuck on my phone, but it was showing here. So this is the one I think we should go with right here. So anyway, great show. Thanks for having me on. It's exciting to be on your show. The secret. What's the secret?
There is no secret.
Oh, I thought there was a secret, man. That's what it says on the title.
Yeah, well, we are live according to on YouTube as well. So there.
Oh, okay. I can't, that's two platforms. I can't do two at one time. Or one at a time.
Yeah, well, in truth, I know you are much larger on Facebook. I'm having trouble deciding where I should be, Facebook or YouTube. So
wherever your audience finds you is where you should be. I don't do much on YouTube other than put my videos there. That's not where I focus. So
yeah, well, hey, I asked you to come on today to talk about the professional highway tour. What the heck is the title of it?
Professionals of the Highway Tour, but you don't have to be on the highway to be on the tour. As you are, you're a location sponsor. Check out how we did the location. Now he's going to put his hat on just so now people are going to get confused. Who's the host?
Well, I'm the host, but you're the guest.
Well, we both got the same hat, so it's not looking good, right? You're a number. So the Professionals of the Highway Tour is a tour where we basically go to different locations and talk to people, whether they're drivers or people in the industry. You don't have to be a driver, and just talk about the professionalism of the industry. We've been at a ton of places all week, so it's been pretty good. Nice coffee cup. I like that one.
Yeah, and I'm trying to hold it in such a way that the lights, of course, I've got lighting, as you, I'm sure, do, and it's always hard to get these things. So
that's good though.
You were recently, the highway tour, you started on the East Coast swing, right? You started in
Eastern Ontario. So we started July 15th. We were starting in Belleville, and we did Belleville, Brockville, Ottawa, Montreal, Princeville, Quebec. That was that week. That was about a 6-day trip that we did there. A couple family in there because we have some family that lives close to Princeville, so we were able to see them. And then last week I was in Mississauga, Brampton, Toronto, Cambridge, Guelph, Hamilton, Caledonia.
I was going to say Caledonia. I knew you were there.
Yeah.
And where are you going next?
The next one, I'm taking a week to recover and edit all the videos that I've got from last week. And then next week, we will be heading towards London and possibly Windsor. Windsor, we haven't decided yet because we've been watching the COVID case counts there. So we're not sure. I think we're still going to go there. But right now, we're scheduled for London, Windsor, and St. Thomas, which is the Big Rigs National Truck Show.
Is there still a truck show going on?
There's still advertising there going on. We'll only be going for the day. We're not. We're just going to be going and doing some video and stuff. We won't be setting up a booth or anything like that.
Well, that's cool. And promote the truck show a little bit. I didn't know there was any truck shows.
Yeah, well, it's the Big Rig Nationals. It's out in St. Thomas. It's at the Raceway, St. Thomas Raceway Park. They normally do cars most of the time, but as you know, probably the third weekend of August each year, they do basically a truck show and the trucks go down the track. They've had that for years. Trucking for a Cure, which I'm part of, has been very involved with that as well. And this year they're still opening it, but I think they're opening it on a smaller scale. So I'm not sure how it's going to work, but apparently, other than the truck spectator wise, I think they're only allowed 100 people. I'm not sure how that's worked, but I've heard it's still going on.
Yeah, COVID has had such an impact on many things. Truck shows certainly being one. Most of them have been canceled, as you know. Have you heard about the truck show? What is it called? Truck World in the fall?
I talked to Kathy this morning, and it's still scheduled. They're still talking and deciding and working out details. So as of right now, it's still going on. She couldn't give me any information this morning. She's still waiting to hear from the top.
Yeah, and I just can't imagine right now. I'm having a conversation about the NATME courses that I facilitate. We've done a couple of them virtually with KRTS, and we're just discussing whether the next one, which is scheduled for the fall, should we do it virtually, should we do it in class, or should we do a hybrid?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. I think you have to look at your safety to begin with. So for me, like the Professional of the Highway Tour, we've tried to do everything outside. I think there's only one location at Rosedale where it rained Tuesday morning, but there was only a couple of us. We were still doing the social distance, so we were fine. There was no other traffic other than the people doing the interview, so that was okay. Everything else has been outside. We managed to do it all outside, and plan to do the same thing. So I'm trying to stay outside as much as possible. Not sure about going indoors, other than I've done a couple indoor meetings, but it's been far away, so I'm not sure we want to do that. It depends, I guess, on the health situation.
Yeah, I'm tentative about going indoors, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm still not excited about going even to trucking companies indoors right at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right now we can do everything outside, which is why I planned it that way. We'll see what happens the end of September. I haven't even, I know my gym opened again. I haven't even been back to the gym. I'm not going in there until I absolutely have to, or the weather gets colder. So we'll see how that goes. But right now I'm trying to do everything outside, and I don't know. I'm sure we'll get to inside. I just hope they figure things out first before we get to there.
Well, I don't know that we're going to figure things out this year.
I know. I keep praying and hoping.
I just, my vote for the NATME course is that we do it online again, do a virtual one, and that way everybody's safe.
Yeah, I mean, if you can do it, that's a great way to do it, to be sure. Unfortunately, we all know that a lot of times it's not as engaging online. I know I'm tired of Zoom meetings myself, and you use it all the time. I've been using it for years, but it seems like, it's nice to get out. I gotta say, it was really nice to get out and actually talk to people, even with social distancing. My mic cords go at least 6 to 8 feet away, so I was able to put a stand over and let people talk. So it worked really well. I would rather do it that way. I'd rather see people in person. It's a different energy that you can't get online.
And to a large degree, I think you're right. When I did those virtual meetings for NATME, I found it even more draining. As you know, you've done classes before as a facilitator, and they're exhausting.
Yeah, they're exhausting when there's people in the room.
Yeah, well, and I found the virtual one to be even more so, because I really tried to keep my energy level much higher than normal. So,
yeah. You're out of the box.
Yeah,
literally.
All right, last thing. Hey, you see my T-shirt? I saw some.
Trucker. Did you go up there and get some free snacks last week or something? How'd you get your shirt?
No, I purchased my shirt as a way of supporting NAL and their Thank a Trucker campaign.
Right.
But I saw some posts on social media that you were out there. Were you out there recently?
I was out there. I wasn't out there recently. I was out there, I guess it was in June.
Oh, okay.
The first few that they did, the very first one they did, I was out there and it was cold. I think that was back in May. Then I went back out again in June just to support them and get some more video. And it was fairly cool that day too. So I stopped going out and the weather seems to have improved. But No, they're doing a great job out there, and it was nice to get out and see some truckers. So yeah, I did get out there. I did some interviews, did some footage, just like you, to support the gang out there. Their NAL is pretty good to us. They always support what we do. So I was out there supporting them, getting some content, that kind of thing. And haven't been out for a while though, because the dates keep falling on when I already have other stuff booked. So with the tour and all that, we're pretty busy.
Yeah, it's tough. I would love to get out there, and if I make it out there, I will do a live from on scene, as I think you did.
Yep.
In a way, and again, it's just a way of showing support to what I think is a great initiative by NAL. I wish I'd thought of it. But, and we both have friends over there. Yeah. Bruce, we've been on here, or I've been on already for, I'm looking at the timer here, and I was thinking we'd been here for 30 minutes already. We've only been here for 15, so we got lots of time yet.
That's right. Yeah, we're doing good. Just to let you know, we've got some people on. We've got my ex-wife is on Facebook. That's crazy right there. Chris Outridge. Hi, Chris. And then Ray Gumpf. You know Ray from Ottawa? He's on my Facebook page there too. So
cool.
You see? On there. I don't know who else is on, but that's a couple people.
I would love if somebody would say hi in the chat, because I'm using this software as you do, Bruce. We happen to use the same eCam. And I like to see if it comes up, because it's going through Restream in my case, another piece of software, so I can go to both platforms at the same time.
Okay, well, I've got a couple comments there. You should see something from me. There's two that I put on. So.
No, so that bothers me that I don't see the comments, but maybe it's in Restream. But anyways, Bruce, what would you like your audience or our audience to know about what's going on?
About the Professionals of the Highway Tour, or just about world in general?
Hey, we'll end with the professionals.
About me, I got a COVID test last week. That was fun. That's what happens when you go live to some of your people and their people are driver check. So I ended up getting a COVID test last week, which was an interesting process. The video will be coming out on that, because I did videotape myself getting a COVID test, which was kind of silly, but you know me, I took one for the team. Other than that, no, excited about the Professionals of the Highway Tour. Lots of stuff going on. We're doing a live tonight, actually, on after you, and we've got a big announcement. I'm going to save it for that, but lots of things going on. But Professionals of the Highway Tour.
Well, hold it. Before you leave.
Okay.
Okay. Before you leave that subject is what I'm trying to interrupt you.
I'm not leaving. I wasn't going anywhere.
Okay. What Facebook channel is the announcement on, and at what time?
It's 8 o'clock tonight. It's going to be on the Lead Pedal Podcast Facebook page. So
okay.
I know you're part of the group and the page. It's going to be on the page. All right. So it's open to everybody, and I'm going to try and do it on Instagram too. We'll see if I'm technically challenged, but we'll certainly try that later on as well. So that's the goal anyway. So we've been doing this Professional of the Highway Tour to just help people understand the best of the industry, like not just the trucks, but the people that are in there are passionate, the instructors. So, we've been talking to everybody from students to sorry, I'm getting a call. Students to trainers to professional drivers to owner-operators to recruiters to, we actually did the Canadian Blood Services. Most people wouldn't know that that's an actual trucking company, but they're the people who actually set up the clinics. And, when you go to give blood, they transport the blood back and forth. They got a whole fleet. They actually have multiple locations. We were at the Brampton location. We're going to be at the London location next week when we go back out on tour for that way. So, but talking to a lot of people about the industry, a lot of people about what they think professionalism is in the industry. And I think we need to get more of that out to people outside of the industry so they can see what's going on. And that's kind of the goal of the whole thing.
Sorry, you got a cool.
Wearing your Afro hat again? What is?
You got a cool hat, so I just thought I'd put my hat on. How have you found the reaction from especially the truck drivers? What have they been saying about COVID and how it affects their life?
The ones we talked to, they've been just going about their daily day. We kind of want to extend this whole Thank a Trucker thing to kind of keep the momentum going and helping them feel a little better. To be honest with you, most of them are just doing their job and doing it the way they always done it. They don't necessarily feel like heroes, although they do appreciate having the attention to it. I don't know if you heard of our recent one that we did with Trucker Radio and Joanne Couture as part of the tour. Did a great interview with her, and she was saying, you know what, it's just nice to have people understand what we're doing and realize the essential service that we are. So I'm hoping that keeps going. People need to realize where all of that stuff comes from. You know, you go to Walmart and the shelves are stocked. Somebody got it there, and it wasn't Walmart. It was the truck drivers behind it, right?
I mean, you and I have been in trucking all of our lives, or most of our lives, and we always thought truck drivers were the best, and this industry has been the best to me. And I agree with you. It's nice to see a little bloody recognition for the truck driver.
Well, I tell people I've hauled a lot of toilet paper in my 25 years of driving, and not once did anybody say thank you, not even the receiver. So I'm really happy that, you know, they're at least getting excited for that. And it's really important because people now have seen it. You know, it's not till they actually experience it that, oh my gosh, you know, the shelves are empty. Where do I get my stuff? And it's the same thing for the whole Black Lives Matter thing and all of that. You know, go meet people, go experience, and then you'll understand what they do. So for those people who thought truck drivers were just the ones, you know, creating accidents on the road, you know, maybe next time we might have that essential product on that truck that you are wondering about and going, geez, I'm going to the store to get that. Hope the truck's ahead of you because I may be delivering it.
Yeah, hopefully people understand. My mom, who passed away a number of years ago, though, because my dad owned a trucking company, I can remember her complaining that, you know, at the golf course, the other women are saying, I don't understand why trucks don't deliver at midnight so that they don't inconvenience me when I'm trying to go to the golf course.
Right.
And she would get a little upset and back up truckers, you know. Yeah.
Well, a lot of times they're not letting little Johnny work at midnight, so he can't unload the truck, which is why they're delivering during the day, right? It all is a big long stream that goes from one end to the other. Everything's connected all the way along, and people don't realize that, right?
Well, it is, and truck drivers are doing a hell of a job during this COVID, and I, for one, thank them and do my little bit, like, you know, my shirt to support those and you. That's you know, you're supporting and saying thank you to the truckers, and so I have to support you. No, sorry, wrong word. I choose to support Bruce Outridge and his efforts to thank truck drivers.
Thank you very much. You're part of the fan club. You've been a good supporter, and you're part of the tour. You're a location sponsor for the tour. This is our location. we didn't want to bring a truck to your house, so we brought it here. But anyway, it's been good, and it's just bringing awareness for everybody about what we're doing. With all the shows canceled, normally, if this was a normal year without COVID, I would have been at a truck show every single week. I mean, and now there's been none. So we thought, why don't we go out on the road and showcase them since they can't come to us? And I think a lot of them appreciate it. The way we expected this to start off, we thought I would just go park at like the Woodstock, kind of like the way Thank the Truckers doing it, where I would go and park there and just wait for people to come in and say thank you, maybe do an interview. But once I started announcing the locations, everybody signed up, and now there's been no time to do that. Actually, I was doing 3 stops a day, and I started losing my voice yesterday a little bit just because it's been all week. We were just going interview to interview, and I was interviewing 4 to 5 people per stop, so it got pretty crazy for a while there.
Yeah, and I've thought about the same thing myself, just going out to a truck stop and doing an interview show for the Dawg on It Trucking podcast, just talking to truck drivers. And I may do that because honestly, I don't have a scheduled guest for this Friday's release yet. Although I know Mr. Farquhar, Johnny Farquhar, who you may have seen that he has gone on his own now.
Yeah, he's taken it out of the bubble. He's gone. So good luck to him. I hope he does well.
He fell off the wagon and he became an entrepreneur like Bruce Outridge and Chris Harris.
John's a great guy. Well, he's been in business before. He's owned a trucking company before, so this isn't his first role of business. So I am sure he's going to do well. He's well liked in the industry and got a wealth of knowledge that I'm sure is going to help his clients, whoever they may be.
Yeah, and that's the thing. John said, "Hey, can I announce it on your show?" And I said, "Absolutely," because I love supporting people like you, like John Farquhar, who are good at their trade. John, in many ways, is a competitor to me because he's a safety consultant. He offers many of the same things that I offer, but he offers a lot of things that are also different. John's got great knowledge in different areas, so I'm happy to promote good competitors.
Yeah, that's good. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that for sure.
Hey, not a problem. Bruce, last word. Let's wrap this up.
Last word. Oh, you're going to make me think. You want just one word? Professionalism. No. Let's go with that last word. So I think, you know what? I think people need to realize what's going on out there. And I'm hoping, I don't know if you've seen this. You may not see this. We may not see this until the pandemic kind of dies down. But I'm interested to see how that affects people coming into the industry. As you know, we've been having what we call the driver shortage. And that's a whole other thing, whether you believe it's a driver shortage or not. But we've been having the driver shortage, and the driver shortage may go away when people realize, you know what, hey, this is an industry where and I know some drivers did get laid off, and a lot of that was basically product specific, so depending on what their carrier hauled. But most drivers stayed employed and busy, and I know a lot of owner operators, even some companies were running a bit slower, they still kept people moving. So for a lot of people who lost their jobs, I know I got a few calls when the pandemic first came out, and they were saying like, do you know anybody hiring? I said, yeah. Do you have a license? There's all kinds, right? So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, I believe a truck driver still has a 30-year career ahead of him, even though, and I follow autonomous trucking and all that kind of stuff. I still believe it's going to be a long, prosperous career, and I think it might even become better in the near future. So,
yeah, I don't know if the autonomous thing. I still think, I know we're ready technology-wise, but I think we're still far off. We can't even get ELDs handled. How are we going to get autonomous trucks? So I think from a regulatory, legality, all that kind of stuff, I think we're still way off. The technology may be there, may be working, but I don't think we're ready as a society for that. And I'd be interested to see how that's going to work, especially with theft. That's one thing I haven't heard anybody talk about. I know you had you have on for theft, same guy I did.
Yes, and sure, Moore. Todd Moore from ISB.
He's great. So he talks about theft. But what happens when there's nobody there? Like, if there's no driver, what stops someone from stealing a truck?
Well, it's the whole thing about if the software can get hacked, then if you can hack it while it's in motion
now, they can do that now. They don't need that doesn't matter whether it's a driver. They can take over your car right this minute if they want to.
Well, you've heard the expression, a truck at rest is a truck at risk.
Right.
Well, with autonomous software, if they can hack it while it's in motion, now it doesn't even have to be at rest to be at risk. It could be hacked and stolen, and yeah, it'll be very interesting. That would be the number one concern.
Yeah.
And not so much about the cargo. Can you imagine a terrorist taking control of a load of gasoline, for instance?
Yeah. Well, you got that. Plus, as you know, I think Todd even says this, most of the people that get involved with crime that were not involved with crime before are people who are behind on their bills or have debts or, behind, and they look at how they're going to make money. If there's nobody in the truck to make money, like, who are they going to kind of scam to get that, right? So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it works. I have no idea. I am not a futurist. I don't know how that's going to work. I honestly think we're at least 10 years out as far as autonomous trucks, just because of the structure that we have in place. We're 2 years out now in ELDs, and that started in conversation a while ago, I think. So I think as far as autonomous trucks, we're at least 10 years out, if not more. And I still don't see it being like a switch is there and everything is autonomous. I think that for full autonomy, we're probably looking at 50 years. I'm sure I'll be dead by the time that actually happens.
Yeah, I agree with you. The full autonomy bit, well, take a look at the lifespan of a truck, and that's long, what, 10 years? Yeah. Elon Musk, he says his electric cars, the new motors that are out now, are good for 1 million miles. Yep. Not kilometers, but miles. And they're using virtually the same motor in his truck. So that means you're not going to have to replace that unit for an awful long time. Once they do start to come in, it's going to take a long time before everything's fully autonomous.
Yeah, it's going to have to be autonomous, because how many guys want to drive a truck that's 10, 15 years old, especially a new one? An old one, there's a bit of, there's a reason that some of the owner-operators are driving the older pieces of machinery, and they look great at a truck show. I don't see, if it lasts 1 million miles, yay, so you're the driver who gets it. This is your truck for the next 10 years. Most good drivers are changing their trucks owner-operators are on 4 to 5 year schedule. Yeah. Most company guys I was on a 2-year schedule. Almost every 2 years at the last few companies I was getting a new truck. So I don't know what's going to happen with it. If everything lasts for 1 million miles, what's going to happen there? Is it? I don't know.
It's all going to be interesting. Yeah, Bruce, sure. Where can people, to wrap it up, where can people find you on Professionals of the Highway Tour? What's your next stop and what day?
The next one is going to be August 19th. I believe it's a Wednesday. We will be starting in the London area, and I believe we're starting at Canadian Blood Services. We are just confirming times right now. That's the date we started. The best place to find out about the tour is at the Lead Pedal Podcast or the Lead Pedal Podcast Fan Club, which is where all the tour information is.
Cool, and right after we hang up, you're going to send me a link so I can post that in the show notes, right?
Certainly. Well, certainly.
Okay. Thanks, Bruce. And
Thanks for having me on, Chris.
With that, I think we'll wrap up this week's live every Monday, 1 p.m. right now on Facebook and YouTube. The Dawg Goes Live, and often with a special guest like Bruce Outridge. Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you. And make sure you tell us the secret one day. I need to know the secrets of Safety Dawg.
The reason I named it the Secrets of Safety Dawg, I've been asked, probably the same as you, where do you get to learn all this stuff about safety and compliance? Where can I learn it so that I can be a safety manager?
Yeah. And you're in this right here, live. So you're going live every Monday?
I'm trying to, but I mean, really, there's no school to become a safety manager. No. So that's the idea. Is if people would listen, I'm sure they'll get some of the secrets that they can take forward to become a safety manager.
Well, we need, because safety is an important thing, and as we know, many people who are safety/recruiting are not necessarily from the truck. So Sometimes it becomes more of a paper position than an actual safety position. So keep up the good work on that for sure.
All right. Thanks, Bruce. And with that, we will finish this live. Bye.